Jen, did it pick up the co-host? Sorry, guys, the space is glitching out a little bit, so bear with me. Jen, I tried to give you co-host, and it said you were a speaker, but not a co-host. So you might have to go out and come back in. This is so fun. I love it when spaces work. Lots of stuff going on. It is completely a fire hydrant, and I just see Trump just, going out there. It's a hot summer day. It's freaking freezing here. And he's just turning on the fire hydrant and letting us play out in the fun. Oh, there's the other Kelly. When y'all get up here.
I'm doing a live, so I'm having to mute everything else. Hang on there. So you won't get an echo. I'll be with you shortly.
Okay. Michael. Hey, Oliver. Oliver.
What's up, everybody? How you doing? We still doing great. Huh?
We're doing great. Sorry, we're just getting started here, and I am not near my music. Otherwise, I would be playing that. So, you don't want me to sing. Maybe Michael can entertain us.
No, I kind of want to hear you sing.
Oh, no, you don't. My mom even said I was bad. It's bad when your mom tells you you're bad.
Or maybe some good humming or whistling.
What the hell?
So I had that kazoo game where you tried to play the kazoo to the song. And it was terrible.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to hear your voice, Kim and Kelly. You guys were out in DC. I know some people fell under the weather, but it's good to hear everybody back. There's so much to talk about. I can't wait. From Trump addressing the WEF to all these executive orders to everything. It's madness. And it's been hard for me to keep up with everything because it's just like all day long stuff's happening and I'm busy doing my other job and I'm trying to keep up.
Oh my God, I feel the same way. I'm so busy doing my other job and I'm like, I want to pay attention, but I just can't.
Exactly. So yeah, I hope we get some other speakers come up and talk about it.
Well, I also want to talk a little bit about, and I haven't watched any of it, but I want to talk about the Secretary of the Treasury, like his hearing. I just caught like a couple of snippets of it, and it was just, he was just annihilating people all over the place, talking about what they'd done. So
I missed that one. So hopefully we have clips because that would be cool to hear.
I don't have any clips, but I kind of want to like dig into it a little bit tonight. Maybe we can, grab clips as we go.
That is, what's his name? Bissent? Is that right?
Yes. Yeah, I
Awesome.
mean, he just railed on Janet Yellen and the whole Fed, and I mean, it was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to talk about all the positive things and the controversial things. I mean, Trump comes out, he wants to do this whole AI big new project, and then he brings in these guys that like we've been like trained to not like or to not trust. And then Elon kind of jumps in and kind of goes off a little bit. He's like, yeah, I kind of hate that guy. And so, I mean, there's just a lot going on.
Yeah, I need to catch soap on that. I just saw things popping up. I'm like, what the heck? Come on, enough with the drama. Let's be happy.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I am very happy. There are lots of good things happening.
No, yeah. It's just that with AI, it's just like I said, I need to get caught up with that. Yeah, I love being in DC. That was the chance in a lifetime to see all that. But I've decided DC does not like me. I came back.
Well, when you go out partying it up every night, Miss Kelly.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, not for that last night. You know what happened with my inhaler. That was a nightmare. I wish I could attribute it just to that. Believe me.
You caught that just in there, right? You caught that.
So what do you guys think of Rep. Andy Ogles getting proposing the third term for Trump? Do you think it's a purposeful distraction, or do you think he's...
I think it's stupid. There's so much other shit going on. Like,
yeah.
what the fuck is he doing?
Well, was it at the behest of Trump as some type of distraction to get
Come
the
on
left
now.
to
Come on, Vinny.
look away? Or, well, he's supposedly this huge Trump supporter, or is he a deep state activist trying? I think I could see so many different angles of it. I'm thinking that he's trying to scare another senator to flip so that, they can't get in the appointed people. Think about how smart that is. You give the left everything they want, and you just have to get one rhino senator to be like, well, maybe we shouldn't give Trump what he wants because he's going to be president for another term. So I don't know what's going on with it. Hopefully it's 3D chess from Trump, but there's a part of me that thinks it's just plain old sabotage.
I think that I don't even want to give it thought. Like, I don't even want to give it a flame. Like, I don't care about it at all.
It's gonna
people introduce bills all day, every day. Thomas Massey just introduced the bill to audit the Federal Reserve. Nobody's talking about that.
I'm so excited
this isn't
about
the
that.
same though. Acting like this is just going to go away when it's everything the left wants.
I don't think it's going to go away, Vinny. But I don't want to talk about it because there's so many other fucking cool things that are going on that I want to talk about. I don't want to talk about that. It's just dumb. And I'm not calling you dumb. I don't want to.
No, I know you're not calling me dumb. I'm just saying it's good. That's the thing that's probably going to come up a lot. So
Vinny is not dumb. He might be fake and gay, but he's not dumb.
That's right, and retarded.
Oh my gosh, I called myself retarded so many times this weekend. It's ridiculous. So what's the latest thing that our madman has been up there doing?
Well, I mean, the last big thing was his last tranche of EOs, I think, where he, signed on the release of the RFK and JFK and MLK files. He also, I think, had one to create like a council for crypto. There's another handful of them today. I don't remember them all off the top of my head. But so that was a big deal. There was a lot of people in relation to the AI stuff freaking out about the use case being mRNA or vaccines. That was another big thing that I think that they should have discussed before they had that speech or that announcement and said, like, hey, let's not talk about the mRNAs right now. Let's just talk about the AI part of it. But I don't know.
But
There's
we
been a
want all
lot.
this disclosure, right? It's like we're not telling them how to do it, or so. I mean, let her rip.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for the AI stuff, and I hope that if RFK Jr. can secure his seat or his position, that like he wouldn't ever allow anything like that to ever happen, and that they would be, it would need to be proven and tested over 20 years, before they start rolling stuff out. As far as the vaccines go, but I don't know. It's also fascinating.
Well, what if that is a tactic to like make RFK an easier pill to swallow?
I mean, it's possible. It was also brought up today, like this is kind of what Trump does. He puts people in the spotlight that he wants you to investigate. And so those guys, Ellison and all three of them. I mean, I don't know.
They are all anti-Trump, especially. Oh gosh. Hey guys, I'm sick as a dog. Thank you very much. I had a great time in DC though.
It's that
No,
dang harsh East Coast weather.
Oh, I don't know. All of us, Dustin got everybody got sick, so whatever. I've been in bed. No, that whole crowd. Here's my concern. I think we need to build the infrastructure. But we really need to look at who should be building the infrastructure. I don't want Gates near it at all. I don't want any of these guys near it. I mean, they are all sus as hell. And for him to be such a blatant idiot to bring out the mRNA tangent in the press release moment, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. It needs to happen, but is it really with this group? I don't like it at all. Because once it goes, it goes. You're toast. That's it.
Right, but do you think it's a bait and switch thing, right? Like, so I'm going to trot out the like most evilest of evils to come out here for this, and then when everybody really starts,
it's not a bait and switch. These guys are making a huge power play, and they got the backers. I don't trust them at all. Absolutely zero trust whatsoever. And you're talking about the most powerful piece of software to be built ever in the world, and you have Gates, Ellison, and oh, come on, guys, Mr. AI, OpenAI.
Altman.
Thank you. Altman worked with all of the people to undermine Trump.
Yeah, Reid Hoffman.
During 2020.
Yeah.
I mean, and you give him the power to build the most powerful AI tool. And he wants to, like, silence everybody. And then you have the other guy saying, hey, yeah, we're going to totally overtake the medical and start pumping out mRNAs for you. It's like.
Sam Altman, was he Google? Like, what was he originally?
I thought he was Walmart.
It was Reid.
Is he Walmart?
Reid Hoffman's pool boy.
Reid Hoffman's.
Did you?
No, it's true. He was totally Reid Hoffman's pool boy.
Did you see what Trump said about Elon? Because Elon hates Sam Altman. He's suing him in court over OpenAI. And then Trump goes, I hate a lot of people too, because Trump basically was neutral on the spat between the two of them.
I did see that. And so that's why I'm kind of like reserving my total judgment right now. I mean, I'm totally for the project in general. I like the idea of building out this big plant and this investing in the infrastructure. And he didn't even really talk about it in the announcement, but that comes with like its own power generation center alongside of it. And they want to have those like all over the country. So that's reinforcing our grids and our power, in addition to powering, this new AI, these AI systems. I'm for a lot of this stuff, and I'm for the money being invested in the country. It's not somebody, I think, mistakenly was saying yesterday that like we can't afford to be doing this, but it's not the government spending the money. This is investment from the private sector. So I mean, I'm all for the jobs. There's a lot of good about it, but Yeah, I mean, we all know it. We've heard these names. We know these people. So I don't know how they all get along.
Yeah, I just, it's too powerful in the hands of like really bad people. And to me, it plays right into Gates' hands, right? He already controls a lot of the cloud network along with Google. And then you have these idiots. And how is this all going to benefit us, really? I mean, what really, all this money, and I know it's not tax money. When is our infrastructure going to be updated? Like, when are we going to get updated power grids and real investment in all of our infrastructure, which is archaic? So, it's great that they want to do all this AI stuff, but it's all going to go to government contracts, period. And all the technocrats. We're never going to we'll be the victims of it, potentially.
Yeah.
That's
like, I don't like handing all of our DNA, NRA, all that stuff over to mRNA, stuff over to AI anyways. The fact that, they think that we're going to technologically figure all this out and it's going to be fine. It's like, how'd the last mRNA experiment go? So I don't know. I don't even trust people, even if it did work, right? Even let's say this is all great and it does work. The purveyors of it, I don't trust. I think about it like America, where it's like, unless the government is in the hands of people we trust, like it doesn't work right, and it actually does more damage than good.
And that delivery system, hang on, Bubble, that delivery system of mRNA, I mean, it's failed. It is not good. It causes more problems than it does good. So, like, why are we, again, doubling down on evil shit like that?
Depopulation, maybe, you know what I mean? It's one of those things where, look at we talk about it sometimes. As much as we like that Susie Wilds won the election for Trump and all that kind of stuff, she is a big pharma person, and so I don't think Trump really knows too much. That's why I think we have to make a lot of noise about this. I do think it is his biggest blind spot.
I like it.
There has been a lot of noise about Ellison's comments. I mean, I think there's been ongoing noise about it for sure since they had the announcement. And it just seems very who the players are, this money that came through, quote unquote. And structurally, just what they were commenting on, they're talking about total capture through Palantir, all of our information and feeding it into this database, everything. I mean, that gives them the perfect tool. Well, we don't need CBDCs. It's kind of like, oh, sorry, you can't travel today because, whatever.
We shut your legs off.
Well, yeah, that's it.
Well, I mean, that's just it, right? That's the point, is that these are probably the most evilest people of all. Why would we want them to be a part of some sort of, think tank thing with regards to our AI and medical? I mean, that's just crazy. All right, speaking of which,
beyond medical, it's going into all of our personal data, our credit scores, to
our
our
genetics,
banking,
our everything.
And it's, I really hope people never forget what just happened to us in the past 5 years.
Oracle is also just pretty much run by the CIA. Like, when you look into it, if you look into Ann Carroll's stuff about Oracle.
I know. I was looking at that the other day. It was crazy. All right. So, Bumble, I'm going to get to you in a minute, but Miss Positive was up here first and she had her hand up. So let me get to her and then I'll go to you and then I'll go to Augustus. Hi, everybody. Repost the space.
Thank you so much. And I enjoyed listening to everybody speaking. I need some help. I need a role player here, an idiot reporter. So here I am, Trump signing executive orders. I just need put yourself in this position. When you're an idiot reporter asking me why am I signing this executive order, especially for January 6ers? I want to turn around and ask them, tell me why you released the Summer of Love and every one of those people that destroyed every one of the cities and the blue sanctuary cities. Number two, I want him to say to the reporter, tell me why is it okay for these illegals to come into the United States on our dollar, millions of dollars, and kill our innocent children, families, brother, sister, and which one of your children, family members, maybe your father or sister, is it okay that they can kill? Which one of them are you okay with sacrificing? I pray that every day that he would flip that, and myself, I do that. I do it to these morons who look at me in text and say, why is he shutting the border? I say, you can't be that stupid. Look what happened in San Antonio last night. 4 officers were shot because an illegal was pushing drugs in a very affluent area right outside of the airport. Stone Oaks, very wealthy. Hollywood Park, very wealthy. And someone I know in San Antonio asked me about that. And I said, so which one of your family are you going to sacrifice? Tell me about it. And that's the way that I want other people to act. So when you're looking at a stupid person, and I call them stupid because they are, because they're still on this bandwagon of protecting all of what they've been trained to think is okay by protecting these illegals, or protecting the Summer of Love, which were released to destroy all these cities that are still destroyed. But can you just imagine anybody doing that to the reporter? I just want to be a fly on the wall just to say it back to them. But that was my thoughts. And another thing on what's happening with the infrastructure, that money that he is trying to get is for the infrastructure. Where they're drilling right now and starting the first plant is in Abilene, Texas. And no, it is not being used for metadata. It is actually used for drilling. So read the fine print of that executive order and what Elon's trying to do, because it is not all medical. And not only am I saying that, so is Southern Belle. She knows it's not for medical, it's for infrastructure, for the United States, for them to pay into it, because there's some people who already want to do that. We don't know who all the buyers are, but it is not all medical. He wants the money come in from other countries, other donations to start our infrastructure and start building. And I know somebody who is putting a contract in for that right now. So, but thank you for letting me talk.
Well, thank you. And I appreciate what you said. And, in all of the hearings that I have been listening to, that is the theme throughout. It is like, we have been President Trump has been mandated by the people to get shit done. And that is what he is doing. And so I am going to trust him, because I elected him, because I trusted him on some level. And I think that's how we need to kind of sit back and watch it unfold. What do you think, Bumble? Or where'd he go? Augustus, what's up?
Yo, what's up? Yeah, what I think is that, to be honest with you, I've got mixed feelings. I got real mixed up feelings right now. On one hand, I'm really happy that President Trump is the president. But on the other hand, it's like day 2, day 3, Operation Warp Speed all over again. Just like she was saying earlier, whoever was speaking, what was that? No rose glasses? Thank you for bringing this up. I mean, I just want to know what my dear friend Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has got to say about all this.
So his confirmation date has been set for the 29th, right?
That's Wednesday.
Right. So that's Wednesday. I thought it was supposed to be today originally.
Yeah, it's set for Wednesday.
It could also be bait. That's the other thing, too. It could also be a way of trying to flush them out.
Well, thank God for Robert F. Kennedy Jr. being in the position that he's in. And pray that everything goes according to plan. Because I'm going to tell you right now, there's going to be one thing that stands in the way of these mRNA, artificial intelligence, vaccination programs that could potentially become mandated, and that is Robert F. Kennedy Jr. That's the one motherfucker who's going to get in the way.
Well, I don't think
And-
that Trump would mandate that, and I don't think that I think that there is something else going on here with that. I really,
Well, I'm
honestly
not
think
saying that it is going to get mandated, but what I am saying is it got the potential for that. It has the potential for that, right? Could you agree with that?
I don't agree that this administration would mandate something. So, but I
But we
think
don't
that-
have control over it because it's a private entity. And if they're going to be feeding Palantir stuff in there, just like Bank of America debanked, and then they're using super powerful AI and they have everything about you in their. I mean, it's all in the hands of who is responsible and who's not.
Yeah, not to mention the complexities of repercussions that could come from, let's say, 10 million people signing up for this unknowingly, not knowing the high risk factors.
So
Those
Sam
10 million
Altman,
people could.
he's
Sorry.
Google, right? Sam Altman is Google.
He's OpenAI.
Was he
He's
Google?
ChatGPT. Sam Altman, was he Google? I'm not sure. I just know he's ChatGPT, Chat LGBTCIA. The woke mind virus is alive with these people. It's not dead. And my main point is that, let's say 10 million people decide to sign up for this. Who's to say that another 10 million people wouldn't be affected by it through negative repercussions that could come of it, like shedding, like the shedding. So you take your mRNA, that's no problem. You take your mRNA AI vaccine to prevent a cancer that you could have gotten 60 years from now, that you probably wouldn't have gotten. But anyway, you then go to the supermarket and start coughing on the chicken. Next thing you know, the mRNA is on the chicken that I'm buying. And then I go to make a chicken fajita. And now next thing you know, I'm affected.
Well, they're also
Now
trying
I got
to.
blood clots on my brain.
They're trying to cure cancer instead of just prevent it. I mean, take the shit out of our food, and then we won't get it in the first place. It's just dumb to spend all that money, trying to, create mRNA that's designed for
I think the infrastructure goes way, way, way beyond the medical side of it. Be very careful not to kind of silo yourself into this whole mRNA basically drop that he made, I'm sure by mistake. But that is just one facet of it. I am sure there is at least 20 other facets of the AI program that they're developing, and that's just one of them. What they're going to be, it's security. It's a lot of things. It's a lot of things.
But
Yeah,
it's we know for sure we do not want these guys that were just spoken about yesterday. We don't want them leading it.
Yeah, and then you have Rogan and Gibson talking about how you got, the ivermectin mixed with whatever that other stuff was has stopped cancer.
Bendazole.
Yeah, and then we also have, the effects of fasting and the effects of eating clean food and having proper nutrition. Like, they're trying to solve an issue in a way that we could probably solve by actually moving backwards instead of forward and giving up our health autonomy and stuff like that. So it's so nuanced, because Rose is also right? Because what about AI through weaponry? What about AI through security? Yeah, that's all good, but the buck stops with our medical slavery.
yeah, I think there has to be guardrails around that. But to your point around like security and weaponry, if they get to a point where if an adverse country gets to a point where they can decode all of our codes, all of our encryption, all of the things that secure our systems and weapon systems, I mean, that would be catastrophic. So I mean, we need to be able to combat that. It's just it's what people have been saying. I want America to have more power than everybody else, but we need to be responsible with it and have tons of guardrails around it, I think. Also, I wanted to throw out there that on a positive note that another EO that got signed today was pardoning, I think it was 23 people in cases of protesting for pro-life, including Beverly Williams. So that was good.
Yay, Beverly. That's your girl, Jen, right?
She gave us
That's
100.
fantastic. And also Ross Albright, correct? Was that today or yesterday? I can't remember. It's all bleeding together.
Yeah, it was yesterday, but yeah, also fantastic news. Promises
Oh,
made,
he did
promises
the
kept.
CBDC today. He banned CBDCs, which, by the way, I think we also need to make more noise about, because I don't even want to stop that at a law. I think we should try to move that into an amendment. But the law is the next thing, getting Congress to say no CBDCs, and then eventually trying to get it into an amendment, because that is literally just, digital enslavement, as we all know.
Well, I definitely want to get into that in a little bit because this is what Michael and I were talking about when you came in, Vinny, is I caught snippets of the Secretary of Treasury's confirmation hearing earlier this week. And what I caught of it sounded really interesting. So I kind of want to go back and clip some of that and, maybe deep dive it for a bit. But I do want to get to Bumble because I know he was having trouble getting up here earlier. What's up, Bumble?
Thank you, Kim. So, initially, I hit the friggin' roof when Trump announced this conglomerate of people, Altman and the other two.
Ellison.
Yeah, Ellison. And the just blatant disregard for the damage that mRNA technology has done to this country and the world. It's like I viewed it as, well, we don't matter. So I had a little time to cool off, and this is what I propose. If these people, well, first of all, you need to get Fauci in front of The Hague for crimes against humanity and seize his motherfucking assets. Number one. Two, you need to preemptively start a fund for the past vaccine injured and the future vaccine injured, of which there will be millions. So I'm not taking any vaccine that these guys propose. I been there, done that, and look where I am now. So I don't really want Trump to use these guys, but if he is, it should come with precursors, and also how long before we have to suffer through brownouts, not able to get electricity in favor of the greater good, AI, because they didn't get enough power. I yield.
$100%.
Well, that's just a nice little bomb you dropped there. I didn't even think about that yet. What do you think, Assemblex, Texas?
Hey, yeah, thanks for having me on. I just wanted to give everybody a heads up. I know there's people that have followed this account previously. We've got a new. I'm running it now, and my other handle is 1984. So if you recognize the voice, that's why. We've got the account back up, but so please, again, I'm sorry for the shameless plug here, but we do Texas Tuesdays every week, and that's a space at 7:30 Central Time where we talk about issues that are specific to Texas, and we also provide you with the information about what you need to get involved at the ground level. So sorry about that, and I'll move on to what we were talking about in the room here. I agree with Augustus. I think that some of the things that that we're seeing from the Trump administration, admittedly, are a bit concerning. I think that all of the tech involvement, is something that every single one of us should be wary of. To what degree, we can all talk that out. It's just that I do think it's a little bit concerning. Just how many tentacles Elon has in our government, and it's significant. It's almost in every sector of our government. And when you look at the influence that he potentially has, whether it be if he takes over TikTok or something like that, which has been discussed, whether that happens or not, who knows? But it's like, he's talking about Neuralink, and there's just so many things that are involved in this. And the conversation about the targeted mRNA stuff for, individuals that will fight your specific type of cancer, while they're probably not all for nefarious reasons, I do think a healthy level of skepticism is appropriate in all of this, and I do think that Trump does have a blind spot in certain areas, because I think Trump wants to be liked. He has said that. He's been very vocal about that. That he wants everybody to like him. And I think that he is willing to forgive people a little bit too easy for my comfort level. I think it's clear with some of the kind of lesser known appointments that he's made, that there's that there are still some snakes around him, and there are still a lot of people that want to potentially derail him and undermine him, in this process, that are still around him. Again, I do agree that there should be some caution that all of us have, and to ask those questions about why we think this AI mogul or this tech mogul or this other whatever is getting involved in the Trump administration, when for the last 8 years, none of them were on board at any point until, in some cases, literally weeks ago, and in other cases, maybe a year to 6 months to a year ago, where they finally got involved. So that's what I just kind of wanted to comment on with regard to the technology. But we need to be aware. It's something that the globalists are many, and they still are in charge of almost every single major corporation. And BlackRock, I mean, we can go into all of the things. We all know who these players are. So I think that there's always an amount of skepticism that we need to keep, regardless of what our feelings are about Trump and how important he has been in trying to right the ship here in America and the United States. But again, like there's significant players. There's a lot of money at stake. And I think at the end of the day, Trump is also potentially willing to do what's best financially for America. That may not be, that may be used down the road against us. I don't think that it's something that Trump would do himself. I do agree with you, America, on that. But I think that if he opens certain avenues, that those could be exploited down the road. So I'll land my plane there.
No, I agree with you. And we can never go back to the way we were before. We cannot be blissfully ignorant. There is no, crawling back into that bubble. It's important for us to ask those questions and push back. And the thing that makes Trump so great is that he listens, and he is not afraid to pivot. He is not afraid to go in the other direction. He's not one of these retards that keeps doubling down on shit that doesn't work. So I think that, is he overcorrecting sometimes? Is he going to oversteer at times? Yes, he is. And, you know, I mean, I think this is going to be a bumpy road for all of us. And, but we just
But it's
have
not
to,
bad to hold people accountable.
Right.
And that's the thing. We
That's
hold
right.
our own side accountable just as much as we hold the other side, because our side listens to us. So there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, Trump, I actually don't like this idea. That doesn't make you less of a Trump supporter, because it's not about Trump. It's about America and about Americans. So if he gets off that path, it's our job to make so much noise that he looks over and actually listens to us. Kind of like when he was talking about how much he loved the vaccine, and then when he got booed, he kind of shut up about it.
Sorry, I was trying to see my text message from Jen. So yeah, no, you're right. Again, we're 2 days, 3 days in, and we've just got, and we are all scarred. We're all very paranoid, and rightly so. But I think that it like we've talked about before, it is going to be painful. And the more Band-Aids he rips off, the worse it's going to get for a while. Would you agree with that, Gustus?
Totally agree with it. Like, if I ever get the chance to meet President Trump, I'm going to tell him, I'll kill or die for you. That's what I told Mr. Kennedy when I met him. And I mean it. I mean, look at all the people who he's been able to bring together. This weekend, I got to meet you. I got to meet Chris. That was amazing. You guys are awesome. And I hope that my criticism here doesn't get distorted in a way where, you know, I'm coming off too abrasive. But I will keep on saying 3 simple words, 4 simple words until the day I die. And that is, I will not comply. It's that simple for me. These things get mandated, I will not comply. These things get rolled out onto the top shelf and told, you know, you got to pay $500,000 in order for you to get this treatment, so-called treatment. I'm going to be the first one out there saying, do not buy it. Don't buy it. You know, and it's that simple for me. I think that, you know, what's going on is a lot of politics. You know, it's a lot of politics, and that's kind of what we got to keep it at. Where, you know, my politics is I will not comply until the day I die, and it's that simple. You know, President Trump's politics is he's got to shake hands. He's got to, you know, show face. He's got to make deals. And sometimes you got to do that with people who you don't like. And maybe that's what's going on here. I can only speculate. But the reality of the situation is that he was able to bring people like Elon Musk, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., and the Unity Party, including Tulsi Gabbard, including Vivek Ramaswamy, and a laundry list of other people all together, including Kim, including Chris, including Augustus. We all came together and we put him in the position he needs to be in, which is best for the country and which is best for the world. So with that all being said, with him now having you know, chat LGBT in place, he's got Bill Gates 2.0 in place. It's just you know, it's one of them things where it goes against the RFKs, it goes against the Elon Musks. So I don't know. It seems like, you know, we've got maybe these guardrails now that acting as guardrails being put in place in order to G check them when need be, right?
We are the
So,
guardrails.
That's right. Amen
We
to
didn't
that.
have,
So I'm
but
gonna
we
shut
have
up.
to
Thank
wake
you
up.
for
We
the
didn't have guardrails on the release of the jab. And these guys will not respond to guardrails. They will not. They haven't ever. Sorry,
Right,
but
right.
this is something that I want answers. I want answers on what he was pitched, what's going on, because a little presser to build the biggest AI complex or complexes to run AI across the board by these nut jobs is a recipe. I mean, it's insanity to put these people in charge. It's like putting Joseph Mengele in charge of the HHS.
Yeah, and my whole concern that I brought up earlier about the repercussions of it all, that you might not even take one and you could be affected. That's what happened to me, Kim. That's what happened to me. I'm 31. At the age of 30 years old, I got diagnosed with blood clots in my legs and on my lungs. And we don't know how it happened.
Are we doing hands or no?
What's that, Bumble? What'd you say, Bumble?
Are we doing hands or no?
Yes, I was just getting ready to get to them. Go ahead.
Oh, no, thank you. So, first of all, for the past 40 years, I've had a front row seat to technological advances within the military-industrial complex. And each and every time, what was touted as good was eventually made for evil purposes. So each and every time. So these things we should not take lightly. Their track record speaks for itself. And another thing, Bobby Kennedy is going to face the most strongest resistance in the Senate to his appointment. And we should be ready for that. And we should also mobilize, and Democrat and Republicans alike. And we should threaten them with immediate primary steps to any opposition that they put forward, and repeatedly threaten them and threaten them every single day until they comply. I yield.
All right. Yes. No, I agree with you 100%. All right. I can't see any other hands. So if you do have your hand raised, either try and raise it again or just speak up. I can't believe nobody on this stage has their hand raised.
No, they don't.
Yeah, I don't see anybody. But I could mention a couple other things that have happened that have been positive. I feel like we're really hyper focused on the thing because we know how bad it could potentially be, and we should definitely keep talking about it. But also, I want to celebrate the wins. I mean, we got out of the Paris Treaty, like he said he would. We're out of the WHO. J6ers are freed. A lot of people didn't expect a full blanket pardon, although there's been a little bit of pushback that includes, people that maybe shouldn't have been, people that might have been bad actors. But, whatever. We got the people out. We needed to get them out.
Well, did you see they already got one guy on a gun charge? It seems like they're already targeting him. And Philadelphia is also, the Philadelphia mayor is trying to press charges on some of the J6ers.
I did just see that like some places are starting to try to apply state charges to override the pardon, which is bullshit.
Well, we've been down this road before, and these these city and state prosecutors, they're subject to the same electoral processes as everybody else, and they're subject to the same rules of the First Amendment as everybody else. So, you know, for the mayor of Philadelphia suddenly to have, I don't know, 2,000-3,000 people out in front of their house every night for a year, yeah, that might get their attention, might make his ass pucker a little bit, you know, because he's not used to that. He's not used to having protesters down in front of City Hall, you know, where he can hear people from the street because they're pissed off. You know, the city councils aren't used to having their noses rubbed in the shit that they do. And you know, maybe it's time that we listen to the Democrats and give them what they refer to as good trouble in exercising our rights to the First Amendment peacefully, to protest and to let them know unequivocally that their bullshit's not going to fly. And you know, and that goes for the prosecutors. Yeah, you don't have to go to their house. They got an office. You don't have to go to judges' houses. They got a courthouse. And you know, they can hear from the inside, because I assure you, these courthouses and these office buildings that were built 100 years ago, they don't have really good insulation. You know, they don't have soundproof windows. And even 50 people out in front of their place every day is going to get their attention. And when people show up and fill up their courtrooms, the courtrooms that are normally empty, when they're pulling their bullshit, you know, judges are going to look at that and go, why is this changing? Why are people all of a sudden interested in the criminal justice system? Why are these courtrooms filling up? Why do I have an audience all of a sudden? Why am I being viewed by people who previously didn't give a shit what I did? And this is how you fight back. You make them famous. You give them the attention that they don't want. See, because they're afraid. They don't want repercussions. They just want to be bad. They just want to stir shit. But when they all of a sudden got to put up with the shit that they've been doling out, then all of a sudden their lives, you know, are not the same. They become threatened. Then they go on TV and then they start doing interviews about, oh, my life is threatened because people are exercising their First Amendment rights. And how can I make them stop? Oh my God, there are people with protest signs that they made themselves that are not paid for by George Soros. You know, some of them that were made with magic markers that were bought at Walmart. And they have my name on them. Well, you know what? Fuck you. Fuck you, Mr. Prosecutor. Fuck you, Mr. Judge. Fuck you, Mr. Mayor. Fuck you, members of the city council. Get your head out of your ass. There was an election. There was an election and you fucking lost. You fucking lost because the people where you live voted for somebody else. And guess what? When your election comes up, they're coming for you next. So fuck you.
On that note, please repost the space. And thanks for coming, everybody. I'd like to say hi to everybody that's streaming on Rumble and Pill.net and QUX and Kick.com and YouTube, X Live, XSpaces listeners. That was the message Mr. Philby wanted to give you. What's up, Southern?
Sorry, I was reposting the space. 1 minute. 1 minute. Okay. Just real quick. My husband's making dinner for me tonight for my birthday. We're having steaks. Yay!
Happy
Haven't had steak in a
birthday.
while.
Happy
Thank you.
birthday.
Thank you. Okay, thanks. But Kim, you don't sound good. Are you sick?
I'm better.
Good.
Kelly's sick
Good.
and Rose is sick and Dustin's sick.
Oh gosh. All day.
And Chris.
Oh my
is sick.
God. What did they have in the water in DC?
They're trying to kill us.
Well, I hope y'all get better soon. Today was a good day. I feel really, really happy for our RFK Jr. And I'm hoping he gets the answers that he's looking for, but it's also going to be hard, I think, as well, to know for sure. So that's going to be interesting. But Chris, I get where you're going about the J6ers, but the one who was rearrested, he had other charges filed. That's why he was arrested. It wasn't anything to do with J6. So he had a great rant going there, but I was hesitant to bring it up, but I like facts. And I went and did a deep dive on it. He has some serious other charges. And that's the reason he was arrested. But the reality at the end of the day is we are going to see, I know Bumble's not happy, but the reality is a lot of the other J6ers are being harassed and they do want to go after them. But I think we have to keep that one separate so it doesn't muddy the messaging in the market that these are J6ers being persecuted. And clarity has to be there for us to have a good unified voice because they need to be supported and protected. But they're going to have a horrible time readjusting back into life. I was talking with Derek Evans, and his daughter was 5 when all this started. She's 9 years old now, and they've not talked to her about what this is because he wanted this day where he could show her he didn't do anything wrong. These kids have lived in trauma, and that's going to take time. The J6ers lived in trauma. Their significant others have lived in trauma. They're also going to continue to face trauma because half the country is against them. And we just have to do our part and figure out how can we help them. And if you look at the J6er list, most of them come from a military background. These are men who are protectors and providers. And now they're going to come back into a world where they're trying to get control of the world again, but they're also looking for a way to take care of their families. Okay, thanks, Sam. But I just want to put that out there because I think we really have to put our arms around the J6ers and their families and figure out what we can do to support them. And I'm going to drop my mic and say goodnight. And thank you for the mic, Kim.
Enjoy your steak dinner.
Yeah, happy
will.
birthday.
Thank you. I'm actually
son.
going to I'm actually get to have a glass of wine, and I'm looking forward to that.
Awesome.
Amen. God bless you.
All right. Y'all have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.
You too.
Bye, Southern. Enjoy.
But she's exactly right. We do need to be careful when people people break the law, you know, that's something that needs to be taken into consideration, obviously. And if people are arrested because they've broken the law, then okay, that's not a problem. But when we see these people, these prosecutors who have watched the lawfare attacks on Trump and who are hell bent for election, wanting to use those same tactics to feel like they are going to right a wrong, that needs to be annihilated peacefully. Okay. Yeah.
All right. So, do we want to still talk about this, or can we switch gears and can play the the opening statement from Scott Bissett from his hearing last week?
Go with that.
All righty.
For the ultimate civics lesson, I want to acknowledge three people who couldn't be here today. My 98-year-old mother-in-law, Celine Freeman, a World War II French war bride of an American soldier who lives with us in Charleston, South Carolina, making for a three-generation household. My sister, Paige McLeod Besant, who doesn't like crowds and prefers the mountains of South Carolina to large cities. And my recently deceased sister, Wynn Besant, who worked tirelessly as a public defender in one of South Carolina's poorest counties. I also want to thank President Donald Trump for having placed his trust and confidence in me for such an important role in his administration. While I have met with many of you, most Americans watching at home will be unfamiliar with my background. I have been blessed with a fulfilling and successful career, but my presence here today was far from predetermined. I was born and raised in the South Carolina Lowcountry. My father fell into extreme financial difficulty when I was young. When I was 9 years old, I started working 2 summer jobs, and I haven't stopped working since. I eventually made my way to Yale. I accepted my first internship in finance because the job came with a pull-out sofa in the office to sleep on, which allowed me to live in New York City rent-free. I've been involved in the financial markets ever since. I've been fortunate enough to work with some of the world's greatest investors in a career that has taken me to almost 60 countries over 40 years. My life has been the only in America story that I am determined to preserve for future generations. Today, I believe that President Trump has a generational opportunity to unleash a new economic golden age that will create more jobs, wealth, and prosperity for all Americans. My life's work in the private sector has given me a deep understanding of the economy and markets. And while this experience will be invaluable in crafting economic policy, I have long adhered to the principle that you should know what you don't know and lean on those who do. Having never served in government, I intend, if confirmed, to be in close contact with each of you in your offices and seek your counsel. The Treasury Department plays a critical role in protecting American national security. We must secure supply chains that are vulnerable to strategic competitors, and we must carefully deploy sanctions as part of a whole-of-government approach to address our national security requirements. And critically, we must ensure that the U.S. dollar remains the world's reserve currency. Today, Americans face significant challenges in an economy that has not created enough opportunities for working men and women. We have an affordability crisis, a housing shortage, and for the first time in my lifetime, parents feel as though the American dream is slipping away from their children. The federal government has a significant spending problem, driving deficits that have averaged an historically high 7% of GDP during the past 4 years. We must work to get our fiscal house in order and adjust federal domestic discretionary spending that has grown by an astonishing 40% over the past 4 years. Productive investment that grows the economy must be prioritized over wasteful spending that drives inflation. As we begin 2025, Americans are barreling towards an economic crisis at year end. If Congress fails to act, Americans will face the largest tax increase in history, a crushing $4 trillion tax hike. We must make permanent the 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act and implement new pro-growth policies to reduce the tax burden on American manufacturers, service workers, and seniors. I've already spoken with several members of the committee, as well as leaders of the House, about the best approach to achieving these important goals together. As President Trump has said, we will unleash the American economy by implementing pro-growth regulatory policies, reducing taxes, and unleashing American energy production. The breadth and depth of our capital markets, along with predictable pro-growth tax policy and smart updated regulation, will continue to make America the most popular destination in the world for starting, growing, and taking public a business. And as we rebuild our economy and lay the foundation for the next generation of American competitiveness, we must use all the tools available to realign the economic system to better serve the interest of working Americans. For too long, our nation has allowed unfair distortions in the international trading system. President Trump was the first president in modern times to recognize the need to change our trade policy and stand up for American workers. If confirmed, I look forward to working with President Trump and members of this committee to do just that. Of the committee. These are just some of many important goals that President Trump has laid out for me and others on his economic team. I firmly believe that if confirmed, and with your counsel and support, we can usher in a new, more balanced era of prosperity that will lift up all Americans and rebuild communities and families across the country. I humbly thank you for your consideration and am eager to take your questions.
Sounds like he's touched on quite a few things. Sorry, I lost my voice there for a second. So what I've been able to garner so far is that he definitely whooped up on some Bernie Sanders, several of the Democrats. So I'm going to go through and see if I can't find those parts. But did you want to say anything about that, what you heard, Chris?
No, I'm good.
Really?
I mean, he sounds pretty solid from what I heard. It's funny. We can't get Chris to stop talking sometimes, but he's like, no, that's good. It's fine.
Yeah, that was you definitely didn't pick up on those cues there, Chris. I'm going to look it up on C-SPAN because I was on X. Bumble, are you up here again?
I just brought him back up. I think that Bumble he's grown wings.
Yeah. So, what was that name? That guy's name again?
Scott Bissett.
And what's he up for?
Secretary of Treasury.
Yeah. Well, he certainly sounds good, saying all the right things. But we need heavy eyes. Who's minding the store in the Treasury? And I think they need the Treasury on the blockchain. But I doubt that will ever happen.
Well, he's a pro crypto guy, so it might be more likely to happen with him.
Yeah. Well, if you knew what I was going to say, then why'd you bother calling on me?
Oh, funny.
I'm kidding, Kim. Anyways, I just want to backtrack just a bit. So this mRNA nanotechnology that they're injecting into all of us is I don't think people realize the ramifications of it. It is self-assembling, remotely accessible to 5G and what's called the wireless body area network. And what that means is what's in you can respond to people that are around you that have the same technology involved as you. So the ramifications are huge. You can, at the flick of a switch, they can aggravate you. They can make you unable to sleep. They can irritate you. All kinds of things. And so, do we really want these people to be in control of any of it? I yield.
Oh, there's Adam. Oh, I think Mr. Philby is having issues because I don't see his microphone anymore. Do you see his microphone, Michael?
I do not.
He's in limbo. What's up, Adam? How you doing?
What's up? No, I'm just looking at Jen's post. The nerve of these bastards at Bank of America. Like, I've called them and I've talked to their customer service line and told them off. And I'm like, give me your higher ups so I could tell them off too. And I bank with them. So, I don't give a crap. Like, you're canceling people's accounts. And, if somebody made a gun purchase, you're handing over, personal documentation to the feds with, without being asked. Like, who the fuck wants to bank with you bastards? Like, honestly, like, just seeing them put out that post, what does it say? We welcome Bank of America serves more than 70 million clients, and we welcome conservatives. We would never close accounts for political reasons and don't have a political litmus test. My ass.
Adam, do you know why they did that?
Liars.
What? Did you know why they did that? They were responding because Trump spoke to the World Economic Forum today, and after his speech, he took questions, and one of the questions he took was from the president of that bank, and Trump basically told him off and told him that he needs to stop debanking conservatives, and they need to allow conservatives to be able to bank with them at all times, and he basically just went off on them. In front of the whole audience and everything. Yeah.
Damn liars, like they're putting out this statement, which is completely false. You were discriminating against people. You were closing people's accounts. Like they didn't discriminate against me, and I called them out. But I don't have much money in my account, so that's probably why they're like, "Fuck this guy." Who gives a shit?
Well, all of these major banks.
He's just here to cause trouble, but.
Yeah, all of these major banks, like Bank of America, I mean, they are going to have to answer for what they did. They put all of the people, everybody who was in DC, they turned over all their records from January 6th. And then...
Yeah, exactly.
And then
if
you got...
you did a banking transaction, they reported it.
Yeah, and then you got Wells Fargo, who was actively I don't even know what you would call it, but they were essentially splitting out the big donations into smaller donations fraudulently in people's names, so that they were making multiple thousands of donations, small dollar donations, throughout the year. So, I mean, both.
Or imagine you just live in DC, right? Or live in Maryland and you just so happen to use the bank that day. Now all of a sudden you're on some fucking list. Like this
Exactly.
This is like, technocracy,
Your bank account, not you weren't on a list. Your bank records were given over to the FBI, all of them, which, I'm sorry, you don't have the right to do that. So I'm really hoping that by him calling him out, or making this statement, that it's going to get people to start digging into it, because we have to remember too, a majority of the country does not know what Bank of America did.
And Jennifer McWilliams just reminded me that bank also was the one that debanked Jen and Dustin.
Yep, it was Bank of America.
Yeah, I deal with them. They're local here in Florida. They're probably like the biggest bank in Florida. But, when did they do that $600? Like, if you transfer more than $600 to a family or a relative or somebody, that it's reported. Was that after the fact of,
Yeah, that was just
banking started?
Yeah, it's in the last year or two.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, and yet they lose trillions of dollars that are unaccounted for. That they
and not to mention $600 isn't worth shit nowadays. It's with the inflation, so it's like, what is that, like $200 you're transferring essentially? In real money.
Well, that's what I'm really looking forward to, the holding of account, right? So, but we have to figure out what is he doing right now that's sort of setting that up.
I don't know. One thing I gotta say is I had to leave the space, the last space. They started talking about a third term, and I'm like, my God, like, why are we entertaining this discussion right now? There's so much more important stuff. But yeah, somebody mentioned, like, Dodgen.
Well, Vinny mentioned
dwindling.
it at the beginning. Vinny mentioned it at the beginning of our space, and we said, no way.
Yeah, don't even go there. Yeah, it's just not even worth talking about. It's stupidity. But regardless, I understand the aspects of it. It's an interesting conversation, but right now it's not the time. We got more important things to discuss and things going on, like JFK and RFK and of course MLK. What is it with these 3 letters and then 3-letter agencies? Do they have something against other people having 3-letter names? Is that what the real conspiracy is?
Definitely,
MLK, JFK, RFK, CIA, FBI.
Hang on, Adam. Hey, Chris, if you can hear me, you need to leave the room, shut down the app, and come back, because I can't bring you up. I can't do anything with you.
So what do you think of that being a conspiracy, Kim? That they were jealous of 3-letter names?
I totally think that you're onto something here, Adam.
Am I onto something? I don't know.
Maybe. So he pardoned a good portion of the J6ers, only 6 of them that he did the commutations on, right? Then did he have to pardon Ross Albright?
Yep. Yes, he did.
And then what about like Snowden? Is that going to be something that's in his peripheral?
Didn't Biden do something with him already? I'm not sure.
I don't think so.
Didn't he get extradited to another country or something? I can't remember.
Yeah, Trump said he'd entertain it, so that's like something possibly there. I think Julian Assange. Well, what's his deal? Like,
he took a plea deal, so.
Well, that's with the European, but he was still wanted by the U.S., right? So, like, is that something that I think that's something that he's gonna have to rectify as well. With
Oh, I thought it
Assange.
was. I thought it was the U.S. and Britain that.
Well, Britain was holding him for the U.S., I believe, and that's why they had him in that facility. But they were talking about extraditing him to the U.S., but something came through where they weren't able to extradite him, and like it was a lot of people making a lot of noise about it because we knew we don't want to bring him here because he's gonna get treated even worse than he already was. So, that's something that I think still needs to be on the table if it hasn't already been remedied for Assange and Snowden. But the thing with Snowden is, I believe that he put this is their statement. This is from the people that have been lying to us. Their statement that he put soldiers at risk with his release. So I don't know. Do we believe the people that have been lying to us, all this time, or let's just get him his pardon,
Yeah, I think it still remains to be seen with those two. Trump also declared an emergency for energy and at the southern border. I think I heard 1,500 troops or something like that going down to the southern border from the active duty, and some being deployed to California. I believe that he is visiting North Carolina and California tomorrow. So yeah, so much is going on.
I want to know what he said at the WEF thing.
Yeah, he gave a speech via Zoom. So he was up on a big screen in front of the whole room of the rest of the people attending. And then they had a 5-person panel. So he gave a speech about, our policies and where he stands on everything. And basically just, ripped to shreds the Green New Deal and everything that they're all about. And then he took questions from each person on the panel. And I mean, he didn't hold back. He was just screw you guys, basically.
Yeah, he already went there. Honestly, he went to the WEF and the UN, and he spit in all their faces. His last term, he told them that the U.S. is sovereign. It's going to stay sovereign. We're not going to be ruled by people from lands afar. Rulers from lands afar pushing laws on us. No, we are a sovereign nation. We create our own laws. And that's about it. We're not going to abide by foreign people's laws. Fuck off. That was the best thing about Trump.
Hey, Micro Hawk. Did you happen to notice if John Kerry was in Davos today?
I did not see John Kerry, but I wouldn't be surprised if he was there. I don't know.
I heard he was there, and then I saw Larry Fink. I saw him getting harassed on his walk to wherever he was going.
Yeah, Phuck, Larry Fink.
Yeah, Bumble. That's what I responded to you on your post, and I'm like, the way I look at it is he's bringing people, putting the spotlight on them, so people like you and me and everybody else can tear them apart, and Trump could be like, oh, they don't seem to like you very much. I wonder why. We should look into that, sort of thing. So imagine yeah, we're gonna see some people that we don't like being put in the spotlight, and we think that, hey, oh my God, Trump's messing up. He's bringing these people around him. No, it's for us to tear them apart, and he's putting the spotlight on them, bringing them like that one guy. Who the heck knew that one guy that was talking about the mRNA technology, and he's saying
Larry
we're
Ellis?
gonna cure cancer. Meanwhile, you're creating turbo cancer. But what's his name, Kim?
Larry Ellison?
Yeah, I didn't know this guy's name, honestly. I had no clue about him. Now, this is Fauci 2.0, essentially. It's hey, hey guys, look at the, you know, we're talking about Fauci. Fauci got his pardon, but you know, of course, that pardon doesn't work against crimes against humanity or extradition to Russia and letting them handle him, which wouldn't be too bad, honestly. You know, we've got this guy now, Larry Ellison. It's like, hey, pay attention to this guy. There's a spotlight on him. I
Well,
had
he
no
was
clue who
he
this
was a
guy
big
was.
contender to buy TikTok, right? Because they're the ones that are actually housing all of the TikTok data when Trump did that deal back in 2019. So it's really interesting because I thought Oracle was a good company, or at least somewhat semi-decent. But now there's all this stuff is coming out that is originally made by the CIA, and then this guy's a freaking total kook. So yeah, maybe you're right that there's some sort of exposure element to it.
So that's how I feel about it. It's like all these people, like we get upset about it at first because it's a reaction. You know what I mean? Like, oh my God, who is this? You know, oh God, he's this person, and then we look into him and expose him, and it's great.
Adam, if that's the case, Trump definitely lit my fuse.
I could imagine, Bumble, and you know, it's totally understandable. You know, especially you're a vaccine injured person, so you know, like it would infuriate me myself, and you know, I have family members that are vaccine injured. My little cousin, my God, man, she just came out of you know, school. She went to not nursing school. She's a doctor, and she went for a doctorate's after. She spent like eight some odd years in college, and as soon as she comes out, COVID hits, and she spent all this money. She's got all this student debt, and she's going into the field, and they're like, you have to take this or say goodbye to your career, and now you owe all this debt, you know. And now she's been like suffering, and she's young, and it's just so heartbreaking. Like, I want these fuckers to fucking pay. They need to burn in hell.
Yeah. So I don't get infuriated. For me, I get infuriated for people like Lindsay, and I want them to get their retribution. And I really think, I believe in her, and I really think she is gonna get it.
Let's hope so. And we're going to keep pushing to make sure we get this, because this cannot be forgotten. 2020, 2021, never forget. And I will never forget. These people think that, you know, the thing is like, I think it's like, okay, let them think that everything's okay. We're all getting along. It's all hunky dory. And then midnight raids like they did at Mar-a-Lago, you know, let them think it's okay. Let them think it's all right. Everything's cool. We're cool now. We're all about unity with even demons like you. We're gonna let you chill, Mark Zuckerberg, because that's been one of the things that have been pissing me off the most is Mark Zuckerberg and, you know, people like him and Jack Dorsey and others. And these people got to pay. They got to go to prison. You know, like at minimum. Like, you know, I'm not saying treason is hanging for them, but you know, lifetime imprisonment. It sounds about right for me. You violated people's constitutional rights on a mass basis. Now, if it's your own private platform, sure, do whatever you want. You want to kick someone off, you want to mute them, you want to kind of like a space. I could kick you out of my space. It's my space, you know. I want to, you know, ban you from my space. Cool, I could do that too. Same thing for them. But when they do it in collusion with the government, that is the problem. That's the government doing it, and you are working with the government in collusion. So I don't think you should get off that easy. Not everything's gonna be hunky dory. And we're gonna let you come to the inauguration, kiss the ring and everything, but in due time, expect that knock on your door with 50 squad cars around it, ready to haul your ass into prison. You know, that's what I'm hoping.
Hey, sort of breaking news. Thomas Massie just introduced another bill. This one is his National Constitutional Carry Act. He thinks that you should be able to carry a gun no matter where you are in America, as is constitutionally your right. earlier.
That's what the Constitution says.
Exactly. So that's interesting. Earlier today, he put out a bill that he wants to audit the Federal Reserve. So he's just on a roll right now.
Oh, yeah, let's go, baby. We're on a roll. Oh, and Ron Paul on the Doge board. Let's go. Like I couldn't be happier as a person that hated both parties and went to the Libertarian Party, and due to Ron Paul, being a libertarian-minded Republican.
Yeah, hey, that reminds me. I was going to say this earlier and I forgot. Did you guys see that on the what's that the debt clock website that they added a Doge clock to it, and it's just like flying up, like they are.
What?
They've saved like 10 million already.
Well, did it come out yet that Georgia was making their own Doge? Georgia Doge?
Wait, what? Can you explain that?
Essentially, each state could do that, right? Texas has a gold reserve, even.
Yep. They're making their own state reserve. I mean, state Doge.
That's cool.
Right?
Everyone should do that.
We could have an interchange between states. Boom.
Right? So,
America. Fuck yeah.
So I've got I'm at Senator Warner's conversation with Scott Bessent. Should I play that? You guys want to hear that?
I don't know if I want to hear her.
I'm going to get to the Bernie Sanders one too, but I definitely want to hear kind of his pushback on the Democrats.
Yeah. Let's hear it.
Hi, Janie. Nice to see you.
Told him off the other day in a reply. I was like, you got bent over, Bernie. How you're going to be upset about something. I got to look it up. But it was just like, shut the hell up, Bernie. Pretty much.
All right. So this is Senator Mark Warner.
Your goal to get our debt to GDP ratio down to 3%, or because routine listen plan. If we don't
hang on, I got to get past Bill Cassidy.
Get that.
Yeah, sorry for being so amped up, but I've been just holding some of this stuff in, and it's like, all right, I get a chance to speak. Let me let it spout.
That's
Angelo.
great. I love it when you do that sometimes.
Sometimes, right? Sometimes I go overboard.
Here you go.
It's good to see you and enjoyed our meeting. I've got some specific questions I want to ask, but I don't want to litigate this now. But I do feel, as someone working with Senator Crapo and others, when we took on, I still think the most comprehensive post Simpson Bowles, and we took arrows from each side. And I'm looking at any kind of pro-growth policies possible, but I just respectfully want to say there is not an industrial nation, first world industrial nation in the world that gets anywhere close to meeting their revenue needs. And I'm not proposing that America spend anywhere like the Europeans at 17 to 18% of GDP. It's never happened historically. It's not going to happen in a Trump administration or future Democratic administrations. So we'll have a time to talk back and forth on this, but I can't let some of this go without at least offering something that there's not an economist around that wouldn't concur. We got to bring down spend, but the revenue side alone is not. Excluding that, we're never going to get to a balance. I do want to raise on a more positive note, again, something I worked closely with the chairman on, and actually worked with your predecessor. Was very proud of that relationship. I disagreed with Secretary Mnuchin on a lot of things, but I found a lot of things to agree with him. And one was a relatively narrow part of the financial sector called Community Development Financial Institutions, CDFIs. Under the previous Trump administration, we put about $12 billion in. This serves access to capital for underserved communities. Under Senator Crapo's leadership, we built a bipartisan CDFI caucus, 12 Ds, 12 Rs. It's tough to get 24 bipartisan senators to agree on anything. It's kind of low-hanging fruit. There are things we can do to continue to expand
this area, creating a secondary market. We've got some bipartisan legislation there, trying to reward patient capital. A lot of these institutions now have tier one equity, but they've got to get patient capital. And again, Senator Crapo and I've worked with the current administration, would want to work with yours on something called the Economic Opportunity Coalition. But can you say a word or two about how you view CDFIs and this making sure that underserved communities get the access to capital so they can have their own American dream, how that fits into your lexicon?
Senator Warner, I enjoyed talking to you about CDFIs in your office. The early part of my career was as a financial services analyst, so I have a depth and breadth, and I believe that the breadth of the U.S. financial services industry is what makes the U.S. economy and differentiates the U.S. economy from the rest of the world. And I think the addition of these CDFIs into underserved communities are very important.
Well, I appreciate that. And again, it's bipartisan. And there are, again, you understand markets well. If we could spark a secondary market in this debt, if we could leverage, I'm talking about private capital, and I know that's what my colleagues like a lot, private capital, but we could leverage it exponentially. One of the things we discussed, and again, we talked about this in my office, and I don't want to, one of the things I was happy to hear, I feel very strongly that we cannot reward Vladimir Putin's aggressive, outrageous behavior in Ukraine. And I think the Ukrainians have performed remarkably. Obviously, they have manpower issues. I see this from the intel side on a daily basis. One of the areas that I think we have not done as well, and candidly, the sanctions regime, I don't think was as effective as it should have been. And I frankly think the Biden administration waited too late to put some of these additional sanctions on oil and tankers. The ability for Russia to retool. Listen, I hope if President Trump can settle this, hallelujah, the world would be better off. But one of the things we discussed in my office was the potential to actually increase the sanctions regime as a way to help further leverage that. Would you care to talk for a moment about that again?
Yes. So, Senator Warner, I believe that the sanctions regime, especially, well, first of all, I would say in my adult life that the tragedy going on in Ukraine is one of the greatest tragedies of my adult life. And ending that as soon as possible, and any role the Treasury can play in that, if confirmed, I would like to do. As we discussed, I believe that the sanctions were not fulsome enough. I believe that the previous administration was worried about raising U.S. energy prices during an election season. And I am perplexed to see that National Security Advisor Sullivan, on his way out the door, is raising the sanctions level on Russian oil companies. And indeed, the oil prices in the U.S. are up about 9% this month. So what was good for that administration is being foisted on us. But having gone from, I think, low-level sanctions to mid-level, that if any officials in the Russian Federation are watching this confirmation hearing, they should know that if I'm confirmed and if President Trump requests, and as part of his strategy to end the Ukraine war, that I will be 100% on board for taking sanctions up, especially on the Russian oil majors, to levels that would bring the Russian Federation to the table.
And I will only take 30 seconds. Let me just get 30 seconds. Thank you for that, because I think it's important that we don't take these tools out of the toolkit. We can litigate what the past administration did and when they did it, but increasing pressure on Putin to bring about a resolution. I very much appreciate your willingness, and I hope you will be an advocate for keeping those sanctions on and actually advancing them even further. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Senator Warner. Senator Langford.
Hey, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Benson, good to see you again. Thanks for the time in the office to be able to talk through a lot of.
So it sounded like they were kind of agreeing. I think Senator Warner might like him.
Yeah, and I apologize. When you first asked if I wanted to hear it, I thought you said Warren, as in Pocahontas.
Oh,
And,
yeah. Oh, she's later. No, just kidding.
But no, yeah, I mean, I thought that was kind of a sneaky good answer because he basically was saying like he wants to do his goal is to end the war, right? He's on board with Trump. But what Warner wanted to hear was that he wants to keep everything on the table as far as imposing on Russia and fighting essentially, on Ukraine's behalf. Which, I mean, I guess both can be true. So, I mean, you can kind of, you do have to do something to Russia to get them to the table, I think is the idea there.
I mean, aren't they running to the table right now?
Yeah. And so that was part of the speech today with Trump was that he said, like, he went on and on and on about the war and how badly he wants it to end. And he actually even specified that it had nothing to do with economics or anything else. He just wants to stop seeing people die. And so he talked about, imposing more sanctions, higher tariffs, whatever it took, and that he wants to get the cost of oil around the world down because that money, the oil revenue that Russia gets right now is just helping them. And so...
Well, it's only Russia, right? It's Iran as well, so...
Yeah, well, right. Yeah, exactly. It's multiple people. But I did hear that rumor that apparently Putin is basically saying that he's ready to talk and Zelensky is absolutely ready to make a deal. And so Trump indicated when he was signing his EOs, he took a couple questions and he basically said, I heard that Putin is ready to talk. I'm willing to do it immediately, blah, blah, blah. But, nothing was announced. So interesting.
It's like you can't look away for a second. He's done like 40 things.
I know.
All right,
And
let me
so,
get through these hands.
I was just going to say, it's also just like the contrast between the Biden, administration and how often we heard from them, and just like the fire hose we're getting now from Trump is just crazy.
It's awesome. What do you think, Cheney?
Oh my gosh, you just said that, and it was kind of like when Trump was signing EOs today, and the reporter asked him something, and he said something about Liz Cheney, but he just said Cheney, and it startled me like a teacher called me in the back of the class, and I wasn't paying attention. I feel like everybody needs to look into PFDs. They're permanent fund dividends. And the reason Donald Trump says drill baby drill all the time is because he's repeating Sarah Palin, the governor of Alaska, the only state of our great nation that gives their citizens permanent fund dividends. And so they get these dividends off their commodities. I think Georgia, if it were to set standard at being the first state to start their own kind of crypto or own Dogecoin would be what it is. It's a blockchain to hold their personal government accountable. We have been looking so far up the pyramid for so long that we forget how local and how we're being fleeced at a local level, and how all of these, they take one Portland, Oregon, ruin a whole state of, or one Portland, ruin the whole state of Oregon, because you only need one big, huge city to pull down the entire thing. And that's been our politics and our finances. So if you live in a state that isn't paying state taxes, how would you argue when all the people are like, well, you have to pay taxes because, firemen's and roads. Well, there's a whole bunch of states out there that I would argue they even run better, the ones where they don't pay state taxes. So the way to take everybody off these systems and hold these, you have to hold the people accountable first. You have to put them all on a blockchain so all of their money goes somewhere. But when Donald Trump talks about the external revenue service, there might need to be another branch of government for a second, because you guys are all going to get paid out in your state's commodity. And so the other reason when Donald Trump sits there and he talks about TikTok and he says the United States will be an owner of TikTok, it is $1 trillion app. That is because as a citizen of this country, because we're not supposed to be the corporation that we're under now, but it's all been reversed, you're going to get paid out for the commodity of TikTok as well. So it might have to be a digital asset. But the blockchain part isn't necessarily to keep track of you. It's so we can keep track of them. And I'm excited about everything. I'm glittery red pilled. The CIA literally stood in front of everyone and said they were in cahoots with mRNA. And so everyone's like, look what Trump's doing. Oh, no, Trump's not doing anything. He's showing you the actor who's doing the thing, like he always did. Nobody would have known the name Fauci unless you were a dead gay man before Trump had him stand up there in front of the podium. So I feel like just because Trump is letting you meet somebody does not mean they're always this white hat. Like sometimes the magnifying glass has to put a bunch of attention on bad actors doing nefarious shit. So I am glittery red pilled as fuck. I think Trump's last 3 days or however many days it's been better than like anything in my lifetime as far as a whole term. I feel like if they didn't Russian collusion him and the whole mainstream media was against him and every bad actor in Hollywood, the stick that's now the wand that's burning down, surprisingly enough, I just think his hands aren't tied behind his back. We're going to see so much shit happen. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm beside myself. My energy is running through me. Am I actually going to get tired of winning? Because this has only been 3 days and I'm like electric. So I'm fantastic.
Well, clearly he's not tired of winning because, he's not sleeping.
I love it.
When I first heard him say tired of winning, I never understood why he said that. Like, I was like, how would anyone ever get tired of winning? But I started getting to that point. I was just like, oh my God, we're winning so much. Everything's winning. Even in the media, like, there's no Russia hoax going on yet. Like, they're just, they can be big mad about what he's doing, but there's no big counter narrative right now. Like, they're just like, we've already spent all of our ammo on them, so I guess we just got to take it now.
They don't know what to do with the fire hydrant.
And you
Exactly.
warp speed into the future. But what is Stargate? You walk through a door to the distant past. Like, we don't understand what was taken from us. We have no idea the free energy and technology, because history is such a lie. We are under like the Rockefeller education system. It lies to us about everything. And so I just feel like we have no idea that what has been stolen from us and our parents and our grandparents. And you're going to get restituted for that. And everybody, it's like, it's so weird to us because we have this social idea of like, no, we're all going to be under a socialism type thing. No, it was stolen from you. It's the lands and the giving back to your family, your bloodlines. It's happened. It didn't matter where your bloodline came from. It's happened to everyone. So I just am really excited to get to know who we are, who we once were, and have the DNA that's inside of us not be called junk DNA, but know like the spirit that actually runs through it and how holy it might be. And so I don't know. I think we're going to some magical places, and I don't know what word to use. I know magic scares people, but it is something that science is so desperately trying to explain how magic we are. And you can put whatever word on it that you want, but the clairvoyant and clairsentient and clairaudient and clair things and synchronicities and all that stuff, I just think it's getting more because you're recognizing it more and we're all recognizing it more. Yeah, it's going to be beautiful.
Well, you know how like that just amazing feeling you get when you have a dream where you can fly? Like I know that is something, and I don't mean like maybe we can't fly, but just that feeling that you get, and you only have those dreams like every once in a while. I probably can count on one hand the number of times I've had them, but it's just such a spectacular total body, total soul feeling that I know that that's what is hidden from us. All right, let's get to Rose and Angel and Bumble.
Hi, guys. I'm going to drop down after this. My ailing body needs to go to shut down. I'm going back to the interview about sanctions. And what I get concerned about is that the more we sanction Russia and its gas sales, oil sales, Europe gets creamed because Gazprom they buy their fuel from Russia. I mean, that's why Germany's in tanking. That's
That's why Trump wants to drill, baby, drill, so they can buy.
But I'm saying that the U.S. sabotaged Europe by blowing up Nord Stream 2. I think the negotiations are going to be a little tougher than we anticipate because I think that Zelensky is getting his marching orders for the NATO mandate. I don't think Trump's I don't think he's on board with that. I could be totally wrong. And
Trump thinks Zelensky's a flea.
I just know that all the money at stake for all the development that BlackRock has invested in all these other assholes in the Donbass region. I'm hoping, that they settle it amicably, but the NATO issue is going to be hardcore. And that's going to be a deal breaker for Putin. So I'm hoping things go. But anytime they talk about gas sanctions on Russia, it's really just a punishment to Europe until they get gas delivery to Europe from other resources, which they banked on Ukraine. So anyway,
I think that I think that Trump is much better at using sanctions and tariffs and making deals than that, President Poopy Pants. So I feel more confident with him doing it than I do with what Biden was doing, because I think Biden was just a disaster when it came to that kind of shit and actually, devalued our dollar so much because he's so bad at it. So, but I like Cheney's way of thinking there where, it's bigger than that. Like, he's got to take down like these Rothschilds and the Rockefellers and these people. They don't deserve to be running the world. They touch children. And I think that we as a society have got to wake up and all get on board to say, no, you don't get to be at the top of our world anymore, because you guys have really just been so diabolical and nasty and you touch children.
You know how great it's going to be when one of these days we wake up and they're going to be like, and Trump has found all the 300,000 missing children and they've all been rescued. It just seems like everything's going to work out. I do think he wants to work out a deal with Europe to sell LNG and export that to them. He's kind of hinted at that. But yeah.
That Keystone Pipeline is going to come back online, that's for sure. And I'm sorry, Angelo, I didn't see the rest of your name and you changed your PFP. How you doing?
Good. It's been like a million years since I've been in here, but I've been super busy with inaugural stuff. So I went to the inauguration. I was at a work ball for where I work at. I went to the rally on Sunday, and then Monday I actually went to a watch party. And then I went to the Liberty Ball for the president, and for me, it was surreal. Actually, it was very surreal. I was sort of like starstruck, I would say, actually, and I was very happy that God spared the president for a reason. God puts people into power for a very specific reason. We all have gifts. Each and every single one of us does. And I think that these will be by far the greatest 4 years we've ever had in modern American history. Trust me on that. I was just at Brooke Rollins's confirmation hearing this morning, and she's a perfect pick for ag secretary, being from Texas and whatnot, and just her extensive background in policy work, and having served as director of, I think DPI, the policy initiatives for the president in his first term, and whatnot. So I think I guarantee you that she will get confirmed. I love it how Mr. Warnock decided to play political politics and try to play DEI initiatives. Newsflash, people, I'm not. People should get into jobs because of their work ethic and merit-based systems, not mediocrity or based on their race. I worked my ass off in high school, got straight A's, and applied to like several different colleges. I got into school because of my hard work. That's how you get ahead in this country, people. It's not that hard to understand. It really is not. And Schiff decided to play, thought it was a bit racist of him actually to say, "Oh yeah, who's gonna pick the strawberries?" Dude, hire legal, not illegal aliens who have came to this country and broken the law. And I think it's appalling that Democrats, for some reason, decide to play the race card. These people are obsessed. The left are obsessed with race, obsessed with it. It is frankly annoying, actually. It really is, and it actually pisses me off because we're all Americans here, right? We come from various corners of the world. We come from various different backgrounds, but when you bleed, we all have that red, same American blood flowing through our veins. I'm serious about that. We do. Everyone does. And we have to have a sense of clarity that Trump has done more in the past 4 days than Biden has done in 4 years. Point blank, period. That's true. Finally, I will say this. This is America's golden age. These will be the greatest American years we have ever had. And I think that Trump will be the most influential president I think we've ever had in modern American politics since Reagan, actually, I think. Thank you. God bless you guys. This is the greatest country on this planet. We have to keep winning. We have to. We have to reverse what these people have done and kick out every single deep stater and primary them. Let this man have his confirmations. Trump picked these people for a very specific reason. The president picked Pam Bondi, Radcliffe, Brooke Rollins, what have you, for a very specific reason. I'm sorry, Republicans, if you decide to not vote for his nominees, you will get primaried in 2027. Like Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski from Alaska, to name two of them. Thank you. God bless you guys. Thank you.
And that's not a threat. That's a promise.
That's a promise.
Work
man.
hard to
That's
get you
promise.
out.
That's a promise.
Thank you.
Not a threat,
Thank you,
man.
Angelo.
It's a promise.
Yeah. So, anyways, I was up next, I think. So, guys, I must have been hiding under a rock. Because I think this is the first time I heard Cheney speak. And I'd like to go on record right now as saying that Bumble is down with Cheney. Good job, girl.
She's got the spectacular magic, that's for sure.
Cheney was awesome, but now I'm going to think of Liz Cheney because she brought that up.
Well, come on. Why'd you have to go there? And
I'm
ruin
making
it?
Cheney good again.
He's a good Cheney.
Damn it.
Yes.
Before he was a dick. No, he was.
You
a
had
dick
one
before I was
job.
Cheney.
And to Angela's point about the argument the left always uses about like who's going to pick the strawberries, there is a program, a legal program already in place that you can come and work in our country. And a lot of times the people that are hiring you will even like give you a place to stay and feed you. It's all part of the agreement. You are properly vetted ahead of time. And then when you're done, you have to leave. And then you get to take all your money, but you got to go home. But it's a legal process. So it's not like that doesn't still exist. You just don't come in illegally.
Yeah, Michael,
frustrating.
Also for
It's
California.
it's the strawberry pickers rule, right? I mean, know what
Mhm.
you call it? But no, to Angela's point also, Michael, I think that Raphael Warnock, bringing up DEI, I think that's really rich. Raphael Warnock is a slumlord. He's a slumlord who is a pretend preacher at Martin Luther King's former church. And so now he's a politician in Washington, D.C. You see the regression there. So you go from somebody who's supposed to be a man of God to somebody that treats people that rent from him like shit to a piece of shit senator. Pardon my French. But the pathway to hell, good intentioned or not, looks like Raphael Warnock.
You can't be Christian and you can't be a pastor and support the murder of innocent, God-given children. Sorry. That's what he campaigned on.
So go ahead, Adam, and then Jen has come to the stage, and I don't know if she wants to take co-host for me or not, but that's she's more than welcome to it.
Nice.
But Chris, I'm driving. We're driving back to Florida, so I'm gonna be in and out. So it's better if you just stay co-host for right now.
I'll be real quick.
She's
Chris,
bringing me my
hey, Jen.
stuff.
Hope you guys, wish you guys safe travels back to Florida where it's nice and still cold. But yeah, what's it called? Chris, now don't they have, from my understanding, they have like a day pass that people go through the border in California, like with a day pass basically, and they go and work during the day, and then once they're done with their work, they go back across the border. To go back home.
There's an agricultural
Yeah,
and it's
what I thought.
It doesn't it's not just for a day pass. They have agricultural workers that go all the way up into Minnesota and Michigan and Maine and
Florida.
Even to Florida, because there's no Americans in Florida that want to pick watermelons. Okay, or
We grow watermelons down here. We got oranges, but yeah,
We do have watermelons, but
we do.
You got a boatload.
It's not our main agriculture.
We grow
a boatload
everything.
of watermelons, dude. Let me tell you, because I used to unload them son of bitches off of Winn-Dixie trucks in
Oh
Louisiana.
no, trust me, yeah. We definitely got watermelons, but it's not like our main agricultural thing. But yeah, regardless, they come here and do work.
I mean, the number one cash crop in Florida used to be marijuana. I don't know if it is now anymore or not, but that's what it used to be.
We grow all kinds of good stuff. I mean, at one point it was sugar, wasn't it?
Yeah, sugars are one of our things. That's where we deal with the sugar farms and the rundown water from like that creates an issue, which Ron DeSantis actually addressed, which was pretty good on his part. He's been great on the waterways in Florida compared to Mr. Newsom and his state.
Speaking of Ron DeSantis, all the stuff that he's been doing with the grand juries and all that kind of stuff is about to come into play, as well as, did I hear correctly that Catherine Herridge was down at Gitmo because they're building a court system? Because when I saw her, she was saying that they still haven't tried the 9/11 people, but they built all this housing for the lawyers and the jurors and all that kind of stuff. Did you hear?
Under Trump, they expanded the Gitmo as well.
Right, but they still have not
making room
tried.
for
They
people.
still have not tried. They haven't had any trials for the 9/11. But now we're talking, hey, we're going to start them up. Are they going to put those guys in there too, and let's just do them all at the same time?
They originally were going to be tried by military tribunals. And then the Obama administration stepped in and decided that he wanted them to be tried by Article 3 courts inside the United States. And then the communities inside the United States were not happy about that because they felt that if terrorists were brought into their communities to be tried, that they didn't think that they would be able to maintain a proper amount of security. So there was a lot of litigation back and forth. I think there was one terrorist trial held. It was I think it was the 13th hijacker or whatever it was, 14th hijacker. The guy that was not smart enough to get on a plane. And so he was tried in Chicago and put in a maximum security prison, never to be seen again. And the rest of them, including the mastermind, is still hiding out down in Gitmo with 3 hots, a cot, and a copy of the Quran, and soccer field, and volleyball, and probably shuffleboard by now, because that's what people do when they get really old.
That leftover behind from the YMCA.
Yeah, right.
So I'm guessing the shuffleboard and things like that.
Hey, Adam.
What's up, Bumble?
Yes. Point of interest here. My neighbor, who also happens to be my cousin, used to grow watermelons in his hothouse while simultaneously he transplanted his marijuana plants into the top of the watermelons. So as they grew, so did the pot plants grow. And it was some of the most sweetest tasting weed that you could ever smoke.
I was gonna say, did it add some flavor to it?
Watermelon weed. Now you're talking my language right there.
Oh yeah.
Sounds like a CIA op. I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah.
did Angelo leave? I was going to say we missed him at the inauguration events. So I have some more of this hearing. We can listen to that, or we can talk about the whole RFK, JFK, MLK. What do we think is going to be in there?
CIA, FBI, three letter agencies, don't you lie.
George Bush Sr., codename Timberwolf.
Oh, Bush Senior, man. What's up, Bumble?
So is your lovely inaugural gown located somewhere for Bumble's perusal?
I'll send you some pictures.
Bless you, my dear.
I had some banging gowns. So did Jen.
Yeah, I saw Jen. Jen's, and if she's listening right now, girl, you look marvelous.
Thanks, Bumble. Appreciate you.
She's got mad hair skills. Like, she can do an updo. I was like, man, I just wore mine down because it was like, I'm not fooling with that stuff.
I had to learn quick, right? There's many times I've had to like literally drive across the country, get ready in the car, get out of the car and go to an event. So got to learn how to do it on the fly. But hey, I just want to, if you guys haven't seen my post up in the nest about Bank of America, and then I'll put Dustin's post up there. JP, I don't know if he is in the space. Maybe Cheney, if you could get JP in here. Bank of America put out that, hold on, I'll read you what Bank of America put out. Bank of America serves more than 70 million clients, and we welcome conservatives. We would never close accounts for political reasons and do not have a political litmus test. Well, Bank of America, well, this isn't recorded, so feel free to cut it. You are lying assholes. You are frauds. And I would love to bring a class action lawsuit against your ass. So if you were debanked by Bank of America or any other bank, please reach out to me and let me know your story, because we are getting people together to bring such a lawsuit against this evil corporation who closed my account, Dustin's account, my mother's account, and Dustin's dad's accounts. So, you know what? Like, you don't get to rewrite history. You don't get, you don't get to cowtail now and be like, oh, well, we never did that. No. I have a big mouth and I'm going to use it.
100%. And LinkedIn as well. I think we should, talk about them too, as far
Well,
as.
no, they're not a financial institution.
Yeah.
I want to go after financial institutions, right? Because if they take me off of freaking LinkedIn, I don't give a shit. They take away my ability to bank. I can't get a job. I can't get an apartment. I can't use Uber. I can't use DoorDash. I can't do anything. You have left me a sitting duck with no money, no way to even get anything. And you took my cell phones on top of everything else. So you know what? Fuck you. You put me through hell. You put my family through hell. And now you're going to pay.
I can't believe they had the balls to put that out. Like, might as well have just kept your mouth shut.
Yeah, and
I mean,
also,
that
I
would
think
have done them no help, even if they kept their mouth shut. I'm still coming after you. But now I have a freaking reason.
Alpha Warrior also quote posted that he was debanked by them. Eric Prince also quote posted that he was debanked by them. So there, I mean, you can just search their timeline.
Eric Prince was. I guarantee you, Eric Prince was debanked the same probably day I was, because Eric Prince was part of the We Build the Wall project.
Go get him.
What's up, Dr. Ball Gates?
Jennifer, sorry about DoorDash. You could order. I got a new protein line, insect base, made from beetles. It's called Pumbaa. That'll hold you up for a while.
Middle finger emoji.
I was gonna say fuck off, ball. I love that guy.
How's the mosquito training going?
Well, busy week, World Economic Forum, promoting burying trees.
Is this like,
promoting,
get together with all your favorite friends and party?
Yeah, it's real hot. But sadly, Trump is in, and that's not, we don't like that. So my agenda is not falling through, and Jen is out there and exposing my plans, and it's been a rough week. It's been a rough week for
Bring
Dr.
it, Bill.
Ball.
Come at me. I dare you.
No, I don't want anything, no part of you. But I would like to help you out. Pumbaa.com.
Good. I want a part of you.
Pumbaa.com, made from, I'll share it in the nest. Thank you. And Bumble, I think you're due for another booster, my friend.
Your new mRNA.
Yeah.
New and improved.
Yeah, my buddy, Larry Elder. I mean,
Ellison.
Yeah, leave
Ellison?
Elder out of this.
We have the same skin complexion.
I heard he's the new black face of white supremacy.
He's part lizard as well.
Hey, Dr. Ball, Dr. No Balls, lick the back of my scrotum.
Ew.
This is where we devolve, right?
Always. Dr. Ball sends us into this.
I'd like to, at this time, I'd like to point out that American Mission is not responsible for comments, antics, or viewpoints of the Bumble. He appears with the express written consent of Major League Baseball, Harvard University, and himself. All rights required.
So, Jen, has your post gotten any traction yet?
Oh, it's going viral, baby.
Nice.
Mike said that Eric Prince reposted it, and a couple other people, right, Michael?
He quote posted the Bank of America post.
Oh, okay. Well, regardless, it's good stuff. People are bringing attention to it.
Hey, everybody that can hear me right now, you should all find that post and repost it several times. Make that sucker go viral.
Right, it's just the audacity. It's literally the audacity. And then my friend Scott commented because he literally lost his job because he tried to reopen our accounts because he was like, wait, these shouldn't be closed. This is ridiculous. Tried to reopen them. Then within an hour of him doing that, we get a message from the corporate board of Bank of America, which is why I included them in my post, that they can shove their corporate board up their ass. With a direct letter with our names on it saying that you are perma-banned from Bank of America. You have 30 days to get your assets out of our account. But, well, if you don't have another bank account to put those assets in, well, that kind of makes it a little bit of a problem to be able to even move your assets anywhere. So you know what? Like the fact that you guys get to sit there and be like, oh, we never did that. You know what? You're in Davos. You can lick all of their scrotums and then go lick everybody else's scrotum because fuck you.
Jen's on fire. Yeah, I don't follow much politics, and even I know that people got like their bank debanked.
Jen's a girl after my own heart. Hey, Kim, You clean up nice, girl.
Thank you.
Kim looked gorgeous, guys. You have no idea. She looked fire. Everybody did. Rose and Kelly and Pie and even Mr. Philby.
All you guys looked beautiful and dapper.
I
wish I was invited.
Was Destiny there?
No, no Destiny.
Oh,
We I didn't see a lot of people that I thought I might see. So it kind of got discombobulated when they had to rework things and move things indoors. And so it just got a little bit crazy.
Although I didn't get to march with New York Military Academy, I do still get my parade participant badge. So I'm pretty excited about that, guys.
Yeah, so Bumble, I have 4 dates to the ball. 4 dates.
you're a stud. Hey, did anybody see? What is that? Hey, did anybody see Fly High's attire for the evening?
I was not looking at, dress slits to see if anybody was wearing thigh highs. People were wearing thermal tights.
No, that's what I call savvy. Thigh high.
Oh, she didn't go.
Yeah, but she went to something in Tennessee or something.
Yeah, she was in Nashville, I believe. I don't know. I could barely keep up with myself in DC. So there was none of that. But it was fantastic. It really was.
Oh, Kim, I want to point out the space that we have on Saturday. Adam was nice enough to let us use the Thunderdome slot. So on Saturday, Kent Terry, who is the brother of Brian Terry, who was the Border Patrol agent who was killed in 2010 by a Fast and Furious gun and the Mexican drug cartels. The murderer in that case just had his sentence overturned, which was life. So now the new trial begins next month, and there is not a lot of information about it, or not a lot of people even know that this piece of shit, I don't even know what to say, got his sentence overturned. So we are going to have a huge space on Saturday at noon to raise awareness that Brian Terry's murderer had his sentence overturned, and they're trying to give him a new trial. And this man literally murdered the Border Patrol agent with a gun from Eric Holder's Fast and Furious. So this is a huge case, and I really hope that y'all share it. It's my pinned tweet, and you will invite people and help raise awareness and get this to President Trump, so we can bring some closure to this family who still does not have closure. And it's actually really near and dear to our hearts because the Terry family was a big part of We Build the Wall. I mean, the entire family, from the mom all the way down to like the nieces and nephews, all came down to the wall and were part of the unveiling. And it really is shocking that no one knows that this is going on. So Kent Terry reached out to me and let me know what was going on, and I immediately jumped on it. So I really hope you guys will share it and attend the space on Saturday at noon Eastern.
I'm looking forward to it. I think that we could really really get some light put on this story, and hopefully rally people to make some noise and hope get it so that this is just taken care of. It needs to be just open and shut book. The fact that this family is having to go through this again is just appalling.
I put it up in the nest, Kim.
All right, I gotta fix Mr. Philby because he's all frozen again with microphones all discombobulated. You're a mess, Mr. Philby. What's wrong? Mr. Philby, if you can hear me, you gotta go out again and come back.
Chris, if you can't hear Kim, she can't bring you back up. So please go out and come back in so she can replace you as co-host.
I'm flying on my own here, people.
I'm here. I just don't need a co-host.
All right. So I sent you a text message. Interesting. Okay.
I saw it.
Okay.
I saw it.
So it's at noon on Saturday, and I guess we'll get an update on what they're doing.
So Kent has never used Spaces before. So I'm gonna send him this link and see if he'll jump in real quick so he can figure out how to use Spaces. Hold on.
Oh, that's a
When
good idea.
Kim, when Jen told me that she set up the space, I was like, yes, thank you, because after 3 days of over 24 hours of space hosting, I am fried. I'm like, yeah, I'll take this week off.
Yeah,
So
no
most
doubt about
definitely.
it.
Man, so I was like, all right, yeah, thank you. That's a great cause, number one, and great something to get behind and make people aware of. Number two, I'm fried, so definitely I'm not into space hosting. Just taking a week off, kind of. I don't know. I guess I got to help Jeff tonight with his space, but yeah, he's running late.
Well, I don't know if Jeff's having.
Yeah, exactly. So that I was gonna hang in there for him, but I'm just beat.
Hey, Jennifer, I posted it to the community and to all my followers, so I hope that helps.
Thanks, Bumbo. Really appreciate you.
Yeah, and I was gonna go grab the one that I put the ad dollars behind as well. So where are you guys at?
I actually see. So Kim, I see Kent down in the audience. If you want to send him a mic, it's Kent William Terry. I see him down there. Ken, if you can just press that request button that's in the lower left-hand corner, and then Kim will bring you up on stage and then we can talk to you.
I got him.
Would love to talk to you. Awesome. And then Ken, to unmute, you press that same button.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hey, Kent, how are you? So good to talk to you.
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Battling this cold weather here in Michigan.
Well, I'm so glad we were able to get you on Spaces. So we'll have the space at noon on Saturday. But if you just wanted to take a minute and just, give us a kind of a brief overview of what we'll be talking about and what's going on, if you got time. If not, we can do it later.
No, I got a couple seconds here. No, that we just got some bad news a few months back that they overturned Brian's killer's case. The Ninth Circuit Court said we violated his Fifth and Sixth Amendments. So they're going to try to retry his case. The first hearing's in February 5th, I believe, for the pre-hearing to see if it'll go back to trial. If not, it's not good for us. But we're still fighting. It's been 14 years, and we're still fighting this battle, trying to get justice and answers and accountability in D.C. So... But
well, Ken, you know that I am here to help, and whatever we can do and I can do to help you guys, because this is ridiculous that you still don't have closure. And this isn't even an American citizen. Like, how did you violate his constitutional rights? He's a murderer from a different country who used an illegal weapon to murder your brother.
Yeah, exactly. It's like he's got more rights than my brother did. And it's and for illegal alien, it's pretty upsetting. And my family is very disgusted in the justice system right now and the way it's been going. So under the previous last two administrations, so it's just it's not going well, and it's upsetting that a guy that served his country as a Marine, law enforcement, and shed blood on this soil. Government's fault back underneath the Obama administration, releasing weapons, pretty much supplying the cartels weapons.
Ken, you gotta unmute. Somebody fat fingered on the mic. So just press that button again. Sorry about that, Ken.
My rogue co-host.
Can you hear me?
We gotcha.
Yeah, sorry, sir. It was a mute. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, how far? Where'd I leave off? Did you hear my whole thing or just part of it?
We heard most of it.
But we heard the whole thing. Just the last like 10 seconds we didn't get.
Oh, it's upsetting to know my brother was a Marine and, you know, defended his country and a law enforcement, and then, you know, defended our borders to be killed by an illegal armed by our Obama administration. And you know, and these weapons are wreaking havoc on the southern border. And, you know, now I got a nephew running the same beat in the Border Patrol, the same station my brother worked out of, running the same, you know, walking the same path. And we're worried to death every day that something like this might happen again. So.
Well, hopefully with President Trump shutting down the border and taking the swift action that he has, that will be absolutely prevented. And we will pray for your nephew every day, Kent, because that must be so hard on your family.
Oh, it is. You know, you know what? He did it himself, but it's weird because they sent him to the Brian Terry station in Bisbee, Arizona, and that's not a station he picked. And it was crazy. So, but you know, like I said, Jen, there's a lot of people that haven't been investigated, you know, like Dennis Burke, Lanny Brewer. I can go on and go on and go on, but Kevin O'Reilly. None of these people that were high up officials that okayed this have been sat down in front of Congress and had answers, you know.
Yeah, and so Ken, on Saturday, if you could bring those names, because we have world-renowned investigators in our spaces. No Rose is one of them down there. And we have independent people who will start digging in on these people and getting you guys that information that would be so vital to bringing this closure and holding people accountable who have not been accountable up until this point.
Oh yeah, and I appreciate that too. But you know, it's really sad. You get justice, you got the Democratic Party, you got some Republicans that'll sit there and they'll preach that, like the George Floyd family. You know, no family should endure this long. They need answers and accountability. 2 months. 2 months. We're going on 14 damn years. So, and it's sickening.
It's absolutely sickening, and there are just no words. There are absolutely no words. But do you mind? If I have people, if they have questions, real quick? Do you have time?
No, I got a couple minutes. I usually go to bed about 9:45, so I'm good.
Okay, yeah. I want to save the majority of it for Saturday, guys. But if you had something quick, just raise your hand or just on mic real quick. Kim, I saw your hand go up. I wasn't sure if you had.
Oh, I was going to ask, like, how are we violating rights of a non-citizen? That was, and you took that one.
Yeah, you know that boggles my mind. The guy's not even from this country. He don't even have a constitutional right. So that's the part that confuses me. And how is this justice system even allowing that to even happen? But then again, it's a 9th Circuit Court, so that's a Obama-filled judge court. So
yeah, we have a friend who's dealing with the 9th Circuit Court as far as censorship in Facebook. So they're nasty.
Yeah, they're not for the American people. I tell you that.
For sure. Well, Ken, I'm really looking forward to Saturday and telling your brother's story and trying to get some accountability for your family. So thanks for joining us. Spaces is great. I know this is your first space ever, but it's a really great way to like interact with people.
You know, I like you said when you introduced me to it the other day, I'm like, you know, and I started listening to a couple of shows today, and I'm like, wow, this is really interesting. So.
And it'll be a great tool. So during the restricted battle last year and the speakers race, we were able to facilitate so many phone calls and emails to the point that we had members coming off of the floor into the spaces and saying, like, keep going, guys. What you're doing is working. Keep going. So I really hope that we're able to utilize this audience and the people there on Saturday to kind of like bring justice and just get the story out there so people know what's going on. Is there anybody that we could maybe do like a targeted letter writing campaign or email campaign to kind of put pressure on this judge to be like, dude, what are you doing?
Oh man, you know what? That's where I can use you guys' help, because I'm almost feel like I'm exhausted, because I've been like mentally exhausted from trying to battle this for 14 years. And it's like, under Obama, nobody would even listen to me. So like all my contacts are kind of exhausted, you know, just.
Well, we got you, right? So not only do we have the spaces, but America Mission, who's hosting this right now, is our organization. And we have the infrastructure to help you guys do letter writing campaigns or anything you need. So let us take some of that burden off of you and help you guys out.
I appreciate it, Jen. I really do.
For sure. Well, Ken, I'm actually driving back down to Florida from DC right now. And Gus has the window open, so it's a little hard for me to talk. I'm going to let the host take back over. You're welcome to stay up here or talk if you want, but I don't want to hold you any longer. So thanks for coming up, Ken.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you, Jen. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Jen, and thanks, Ken. Yeah, I think we're going to need to do some like, reverse engineering to figure out who's going to be the most influential people that we can put some pressure on.
Yeah. I like I said, I really appreciate it, because it's like, knock on doors. It's like some people say, oh, it's old news. It's old news. But, try telling a family that's been through it that it's old news. I mean, like I said, now that there's a new trial coming up again, that got overturned, and it's like it'll open up the wound all over again, and it's actually a wound that was never healed. So
whose decision was it to take that up and overturn it? Like, do you have a specific judge, or?
I got to look it up in a thing, and the emails to the lawyers that are handling it, the prosecutors. We found out October? Was it October? We just found out about it. So, and they were going to give us all the details coming to hearing in February, the pre-hearing, but then I haven't heard from them again. So I don't think they're really on our side, to be honest with you, but we'll see that.
Ken, do you still have the same lawyer?
No.
Or are you guys
No, the one we had.
Legal representation?
The one we had, what was his name? He's now actual judge in California now. So he moved, he got, was done being.
So you guys need a lawyer.
No, we got a lawyer, but the prosecutor that's handling Brian's case, the murder charges, the state. So he ended up leaving the judge. He ended up being a judge in California now. What is it? Leshner. So, but now he's a judge. So.
Kim, you got to take over.
No, I got it. Sorry. I was trying to get back to my microphone.
No, I can dig up some more information, but I look at my emails tomorrow, refresh my memory here. So,
yeah, you throw us out a couple of names to start with, and then we can take it from there.
Okay, I appreciate it. Yeah, but let me look at my emails tomorrow from the lawyers, and then I'll let you guys know.
That's awesome. I think we're going to have a great space, and I think that we can try and do what we can to help you guys out. One of our wheelhouses.
Well, like I said, my family would really appreciate it. It's like, You know, my mom just had my dad passed away. My mom just had open heart surgery. At least let's let my mom get justice. You know, let her see it. So
100%. So guys, I'm going to be shutting this down here in a minute because we do have, I believe, Black Ops is going on. Adam, do you know? But so I need to wrap up because.
Oh, it's my week off. I'm just kidding. But Jen said that she heard from Mr. 30, his dog, one of his pups has a swollen mouth or something. He's got to take it to the vets, something along that line.
Oh, so no Black Ops tonight.
At least from, he said he was going to probably be an hour late or something like that, but I haven't heard from him, so should probably check in with him and the pup.
Absolutely. All right. Well, does anybody else have anything that they? Oh, Bumble, you're back up. Go ahead.
Yeah, just really quick because I know you're gonna shut it down. But guys, I know Donald Trump is busy with a lot, but we really need a new mechanism to disrupt or recall some of these activist judges, because right now they exist as little mini dictators, and there's no recourse for us. So we really need a mechanism to recall these tyrants. Thank you.
You have to impeach them, don't you? Judges have to be impeached. Or
Yes, right. But also, like, I don't even
You
know.
could just
I'll
bar
have to
them,
look it up.
can't
I
you?
don't even want to say.
Yeah.
Or is
I mean,
that just lawyers?
I don't know.
Well, yeah, but
I don't know. I'm
Bumble's
not a
right
lawyer.
though. We don't have a really great recourse, any kind of really great recourse that we can use. But I think it's more than just the judges, right? I mean, it's the city council members, it's the mayors, it's all the different parts of the community that these local offices, like we talk about all the time, right? It's about the local. That's really where the power is been kind of corrupted and taken away.
Well, listen, I gotta go, guys. I gotta drop. But what I will say is that although you have like certain people get up in certain spaces and be like, guys, the conspiracy, it's too big. Do you know how many people would have to be in on this conspiracy in order for it to work? Okay. I think people are going to be real surprised, right? Just to see how many people were actually together and actually kept their mouth shut and didn't talk about this entire RICO case that's going to happen here, right? Because it wasn't just like, oh, this person was doing this by itself, or it was just the censorship industrial complex, or it was just the military industrial complex. No, they were all working together. They hated Donald Trump so much, and they needed to stop him so badly because he disrupted their entire worlds, that they were willing to put together lifelong, decades-long, freaking centuries-long feuds in order to stop Donald Trump, and it didn't work, right? And now they're fucked. Right? So don't let people sit here and make you believe like, oh, it couldn't be that. It's too big. Like, those people are about to.
I mean,
look
we
like
know for a
fools.
fact that there was 2 million federal employees that actively subverted a sitting president back in 2019, 2020. 2 million people. Yeah. So yeah, there were a lot of people in on it. They coordinated, they coerced, they colluded to just overthrow a government. Really, that's what they did.
That's the thing. They don't just hate Donald Trump. They hate the Constitution. They hate America. Donald Trump was representative of the people of America, and actually, was a representative of the people and believes in the Constitution. So, he's a person that's representing that. That's what they want to conquer. They want to conquer the Constitution. They want federate the world, under a world order, a world rule. Same thing with that WHO. They want rights over our sovereignty, and Donald Trump stands up against that time and time again. Whether it's the WEF or the UN, he went and spit in their face and told them U.S. sovereignty rules, and they don't like that. These people within the U.S. that work within the Council on Foreign Relations and other trilateral commissions and so on and so forth are in cahoots with these people that want to dominate the U.S. and break its constitution. So Donald Trump represents that resistance against that world order, and that's why they hate him, and that's why they hate us. And they attacked him, and they attacked us, and now we're in the seat of power. So the tables are turning.
That's right, Adam. When it comes right down to it, at the end of the day, they hate us.
Well, can't we elect it's the circuit judges that we can elect, right? And so can we use those elected positions to battle the federal judges that get appointed? Like, is that possibly a tool? Since we have say over those.
It's kind of interesting because the judges on the federal level are appointed, right?
Right,
but
we
our local
elect
state judges are elected, right?
Correct.
Kind of a strange scenario there.
So,
what do you think, Mr. Colby? Oh, God.
So these and other questions will be answered next time on the Octagon.
Oh, nice job, Bumble.
Actually, Kim,
I like the outro.
Maybe answer it on the civics spaces that you're going to be doing.
Yes,
correct?
we're going to be doing civics on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. So we're going to keep them to 2 hours. So we're going to kind of try to keep it formatted. Obviously, discussion is always welcome. But yes, on Tuesdays at 7 p.m., we are going to start doing civics. We've already started on the Constitution. We are on Article 2. You can come in wherever. It's sort of like the Bible. Like, you're going to learn something, whatever section we're talking about. There will be a lively conversation. And you'll learn about how it applies to today's world. Whenever Mr. Philby feels like enlightening us.
Just a heads up, I do have a bit of a reply that's going. I've been reply guying, and it's going viral. A bit viral, not viral, but like
baby viral. Is it baby viral?
No, it's 100K plus on a reply post. I guess so far since yesterday, and the other one's at like 75K. Yeah, that's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with those two posts. I was like, you got to reply guy if you want impressions. If you're like a smaller account, like one of us under 10K or whatever, reply guy seems to do it. And if you hit it pretty well. And yeah, you guys want to repost that would be cool.
Definitely, we'll repost it. Did you put it in the nest?
Oh yeah, it's in the purple pill. I didn't put it up in the nest. You want me to put them in the nest?
Yeah, there's only 4 things in the nest. You can put it in the nest.
All right. Thank you.
And I scheduled this space on my desktop today, which is why it's not recorded. So, whatever.
Always schedule on your cell phone first, and then open it on your cell phone and switch to your desktop. Like, close the app and switch. Actually, before you do that, even just type something in the purple pill so you maintain the purple pill. I don't know, like I guess you opened it and it gave a purple pill, which is surprising. They've been doing some improvements, obviously. The video spaces are working
I just
better
didn't
now.
see on my phone. It's defaulted to record, but I didn't see the toggle. If there was a toggle, I didn't see it.
Now, if they could only remove Bumble's 45-minute governor when he touches a microphone.
What?
When I get up into a space, I request a microphone. And since I joined the Twitter, now X app, as soon as I get a microphone, I have 45 minutes. And then I get zapped and I have to reload every day, several times a day.
I think that you you guys that get attacked all the time, they've like assigned you a really miserable person that works in the bowels of X, and they get like their rocks off by fucking with you guys. I'm convinced that that's what it is between you and Mr. 30 Below and Aaron. I mean, they suspended Aaron again. I mean, what are they doing? Are they anti-Semitic?
No, see, I think under the old regime at Twitter, I got a bot attached to me. And even though Elon fired a bunch of people, that bot is still existing on my account.
You know what? You should talk to Craig, because Craig, he was a wanted man. He was definitely targeted, and he kept getting blown up. I mean, constantly. He's getting suspended, right? He was Dark Horse at that time, or Dark Helmet, sorry. And then I said, you know what? You just need to start over. Just go ahead and take your licks and start over, right? And I said, and he went to White Hat, and he has been happy and healthy ever since. Wouldn't you say, Craig?
Yeah, well, I was Dark Helmet, which was kind of fun. I was the Borg, and then when I changed my switch to White Hat, all of a sudden I wasn't bothered as much. But I liked my Borg,
But you had to change your handle and your PFP, and the fact that you went positive, Mr. Elon is all about positivity.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, because you have some accounts here that throw out such evil and negative stuff, and they don't get touched.
See now, why can I never see White Hat?
He's the cat with the green eyes. He changed his PFP.
Oh,
Still got the hat on though.
Got him.
I like that cat.
I got him.
Yeah, whenever
Does
somebody
he look like an adversary to a Yeti or a friendly? He looks like a friendly, I think.
Dude, yeah, that's just like could be his sidekick for sure.
Yeah, right. Look at those two side by side. I've got like a
Space
side by side
cowboy cat and the Yeti.
Works for me.
I'm a Mog. I'm my own best friend, but I'm a cat.
Oh yeah. Look at this. I'm gonna post this to the top.
You guys are funny.
Bumble.
Well, thanks everybody for coming tonight. Appreciate everybody. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully you're not as upset if you were upset earlier today. I'm feeling pretty positive. I'm just tired. I like your outlook, Cheney. I always appreciate what you bring to the table. Craig, keep those lasers, focused where they need to be. Bumble, sounds like you got a little bit of pep in your step, which makes me happy. Adam, always a pleasure. You did such a great job holding down the fort while we were at the inauguration festivities.
Yeah, tell me about it. Yo, that Patriot Awards was like an amazing space. I had like 17,000 live listeners throughout the space, and I think I don't know, it was well over 1,000 replays, which was just amazing for American Mission's account. And I'm sure I picked up a bunch of followers off of that day. But yeah, it was an amazing space, and it rolled so well. And I tried to do the TP USA space the night after as a live video space, and it sucked. But then the inauguration day, covering that from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. was draining and very, very fun. I had a great time.
Hey, Kim.
Yes.
Are you going to end the space or what? I got to investigate this Janie girl who's piqued my interest.
Cheney, I don't think Cheney's into Yetis, dude. I hate to burst your bumble.
That was very well done.
I learned from the best. Cheney, Bumble loves you, apparently. He's found your interesting take on things.
He's a friendly yet frisky Yeti.
Oh, I have something just to put in people's heads. It's not AI we should be worried about. It's AGI.
Thanks. That's so terrifyingly wonderful. Mr. Philby, always a pleasure. Kels, I'm so glad I got to hang out with you. I miss you guys already. I know, Mr. Philby, you had enough of me for like, I don't know, a couple years.
Did we not talk yesterday?
And today.
And tomorrow. And the day after.
Janie's voice melts my ears.
Well, you know, that's pretty big considering you live in the Arctic or Antarctica. Which one is it?
I think Yetis could be interdimensional space travelers.
You got that right, sister.
Y'all are all witnessing the first encounters of a Cheney and a Yeti.
Just beware when he offers bikinis. That's when you gotta like look around.
That's how
Like,
you
yo.
summon him. Don't forget.
Actually, that is how we summon him. We say bikini 3 times and he appears. So anytime you want to bumble in the room, just say bikini 3 times and do one turnaround, like a 360, and he'll appear.
Almost every time.
I'm like that
And
if
on
you
that
say
note-
side boob 3 times.
That would probably work too.
I'll take whatever I can get.
Are we devolving?
Yes. Good night, everybody. I'm sure
Bye-bye.
I'll hear you in spaces.
Time for Black Ops.
Okay. Good deal. I'll see you over there. I'm going to the gas station. I don't have any chocolate in the house. It's very emergency.
No.
Look, you don't even know. Kelly knows. I brought my chocolate with me to inauguration.
Oh, and she's got awesome chocolate. That helps so much.
I do have awesome chocolate.
Yeah, now you're getting gas station chocolate.
I'm not happy about it, but Sprouts is closed, so
But you had that frozen pineapple too.
I have that in the freezer.
Yes.
I didn't run out of that. All right, guys. Have a good night.
Night.
Good night.
Night.
Go
Go team.
Go team. Good night.